What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to have a conversation about looping and stacking streaks in Call of Duty. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is, first off, Modern Warfare 3 has been trying out looping and stacking streaks in Season 4, and second, I want to talk about this in relation to Black Ops 6, and what I would like to see with Black Ops 6 in relation to looping and stacking streaks. So let's dive into the topic, and we'll start it off with the looping aspect of streaks. And in case you aren't familiar with the term, looping streaks means you can continue to earn your streaks over and over again in the same life if you don't die. So once you earn your 3 streaks, you don't have to die to reset that so you can earn your first streak again. You can just continue to loop through them as you continue streaking in the same life. And for me personally, I love looping streaks. And I don't really see much of a valid argument against looping streaks on their own, not combined with stacking streaks, aside from artificially trying to hold back really good players from totally dominating a match. Because without looping streaks, that player, once they earn their top streak, they may as well go get themselves killed. They may as well jump off the map or throw a grenade down at their feet or just run directly into enemy gunfire so that they can die and earn those streaks again. Unless, of course, they're trying to go for like a nuke or something, but that's a different topic. But overall, this seems totally unnecessary because it takes the same amount of skill and effort to earn that set of streaks the first time compared to the second time. It shouldn't matter if you die in between or not. It takes the same amount of score, the same amount of kills, the same amount of effort in both of those cases to do that. So why force somebody to have to get themselves killed in order to earn their set of streaks again? In my eyes, this is a completely artificial mechanic to just hold people back from excelling too much. Although I guess if we do touch on the nuke argument, I could potentially see an argument that they want to make it more difficult to earn that nuke style streak. So the DNA bomb or the MGB or whatever it might be, maybe they want to make it more difficult by ensuring that you can't constantly loop through UAVs and advanced UAVs, for instance, to help you get to that streak more effectively. But when it comes to nukes, it's not like nukes are a really common occurrence. Most people will go an entire life cycle never seeing a nuke, or maybe only seeing 1 or 2. So I don't really see that as a super solid argument anyway. Even with looping streaks, nukes wouldn't be a super common occurrence. And if anything, making that nuke style streak a little more approachable and a little more achievable for more players out there, I don't think that would necessarily be a bad thing either. So when it comes to Black Ops 6 this year, at this point, no official source has confirmed or denied looping streaks being in the game. Now I will say, apparently a content creator that was at Treyarch said there wouldn't be looping streaks in Black Ops 6, but multiple others have stated that this wasn't in the presentation, and anything that was not in the presentation is not officially confirmed. And often the reason they do that, and they only let us talk about something that's in a particular presentation, is many of the other features that may be seen while we're playing the games early, they might not be locked in yet, so they're not ready to advertise that yet. They're not ready to say, hey, this is what we're doing, because there's still room for things to change. So for me, in Black Ops 6, I really hope looping streaks will end up returning, but if not, and they really insist on not having looping streaks in the game, I would hope that they'd at least be willing to consider one compromise. And this is a compromise I have brought up in the past as well, and I like the idea of this. And this compromise could be allow non-lethal streaks to loop, but not lethal streaks. So this means for your UAVs, your counter UAVs, your advanced UAVs, your SAM turrets, that's something we've seen in the footage for Black Ops 6, make it so you can loop through those multiple times in the same life, but just not your lethal kill streaks. Doing this would actually encourage support play more, which is a positive thing for the game, because this would be an indirect buff to those support style streaks, and this would also make nuke hunting, assuming there will be a nuke, a lot more viable and approachable for more players out there. So there we go, those are my thoughts on looping streaks. I definitely would love to see them. Next, we'll talk about stacking streaks, but before we do that, today's video is sponsored by Manscaped. Are you still using that nasty old loofah to clean your body? If you are, you may not be fully removing all the bacteria and oils found deep inside of your skin that causes body odor, clogged pores, and breakouts. This is where the Buff Bundle comes in, starting it off with the Body Buffer. This is a compact handheld exfoliator brush designed to help remove dead skin, help unclog pores, and reduce ingrown hairs. And unlike loofahs and washcloths, which can be a breeding ground for bacteria, the Body Buffer is made from 100% antibacterial silicone bristles that are designed for lather, cleansing, and comfort with less waste of your cleaning product. And speaking of cleaning product, the Buff Bundle also comes with 2 bottles of Manscaped's refined body wash infused with aloe vera and sea salt. This will keep your skin feeling fresh, clean, and moisturized while ensuring you smell great in the process. And if you want to take your scent game to the next level, this is where Manscaped's refined cologne comes into the equation. This takes the same great signature scent from the refined body wash and dials it up a notch to keep you smelling great throughout the entire day. Now, I'm far from an expert when it comes to describing scents, so I'm just going to read out what Manscaped says about this. They describe it as a light citrus burst before settling into anchoring notes of vetiver and a woodsy masculine finish. Now, personally, I like the scent. It's definitely wife approved, and that's really all that matters to me at the end of the day. So if you're interested in checking out the Buff Bundle, the Refined Cologne, or any other Manscaped products, head over to manscaped.com and use the code TXA20 at checkout for 20% off your order and free international shipping. Big thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. All right, so let's get back to the discussion about stacking streaks. And when we're talking about stacking, this refers to earning streak progress via kills from your streaks. So like back in the original Modern Warfare 2, for instance, every single kill you got with a kill streak was treated the same as getting a kill with your gun. So if you got a 5 kill streak with your gun, called in a Predator missile, and that got you 2 kills, those 2 kills would earn you your Harrier. Then when you call in your Harrier, let's say that gets you 3 kills, now you have a Chopper Gunner. And in that entire process, all you had to do was get that 5 kill streak with your gun for the Predator missile. And for the rest of that, you could just hang back and let your streaks continue to earn more and more streaks. Now, with Modern Warfare 3, before Season 4, we didn't have looping or stacking streaks. And this meant if I called in a helicopter, for instance, before Season 4 in this game, any kills that helicopter got, I would get XP for that, and I would get awarded a kill on the scoreboard. But if you look on the bottom right of the screen, I wouldn't be awarded any score toward my next score streak. I had to do all of that with my gun or my equipment. Whereas after Season 4, and currently at the time of recording this video, streak kills are awarding half the amount of score toward your next streak as you would get with a gun kill. So in a game mode where every kill will give you 125 score toward your streak, now if a kill streak that you have gets a kill, it's going to give you 63 score toward your next streak. And what this means is right now in Modern Warfare 3, if I call in an SAE and it gets 2 kills, those 2 kills will actually earn me a remote turret. And if that gets 2 kills, or if my SAE got 4 kills, that will now unlock my Overwatch helo, and throughout that entire process from the moment I called that SAE in, I wouldn't need to see or shoot a single enemy. And for me, unlike looping, I'm actually not a big fan of stacking streaks, at least not quite to this degree, for 2 primary reasons. And the first big reason behind this is it negatively influences player behavior. When you have streak stacking, once you call in a streak, the optimal thing to do is avoid gunfights at all costs. The best possible thing you can do is go and hide at the back of the map and let your streaks do your work. Because why would you risk dying and losing that streak progress by trying to take a gunfight when there's little to no risk in hiding at the back of the map waiting for your current streak to earn your next streak, which can then earn your next streak. And then when looping is present, that could then potentially loop all the way around and earn your first streak again, and you can continue doing that without ever having to put yourself in danger beyond earning the streak the first time. And for me, the issue that I have from this not only comes from the perspective of not wanting my enemies to just be hiding at the back of the map, because that's not very fun gameplay in my eyes, but this also comes from my perspective when I'm earning streaks. If I have a chopper in the air with stacking streaks present, of course I'm just gonna chill behind my teammates and play it as safe as possible while my helicopter gets kills. It would be kind of silly not to do that and to take unnecessary risks, and I really dislike that feeling of knowing that the smartest way to play right now is to hide. Hiding at the back of the map is not the type of gameplay I'd like to see actively encouraged by gameplay design. Like, if people want to do that just because that's their preferred playstyle, fine, but in this case, we have gameplay design actively encouraging that style of play, and that's really not for me, especially in Call of Duty. So that's the primary reason that I have, although there is another big reason to bring up here as well when it comes to stacking streaks, and this is snowballing. When one streak earns your next streak, which earns the next streak after that, and each of those gets progressively more powerful, that can create pretty big imbalances throughout a match, and it can have a very big impact on the outcome of that match as well. When you're on the receiving end of that, it makes a bad situation so much worse, and it becomes so much harder to counter that as well, compared to the alternative, because you're unable to shut down this loop of constant streaks without hunting down a hiding player while being constantly bombarded by their streaks. When you take stacking streaks out of the equation, if that player has to earn the streaks with his gun, then every time he's making progress toward his streaks, he has to be putting himself out there and providing your team with the opportunity to shut him down and stop that streak spam. And to me, that's a sign of balance. If you want to be rewarded with something that can just get you free kills, essentially, well, in my eyes, you should have to put yourself out there and put yourself in danger in order for that to happen. So with these 2 reasons combined, in general, I'm not a fan of stacking streaks, at least not to a large extent. I will say I'm totally fine with score streaks providing a small amount of score toward your next streak. So if it were like 25% of the score of a regular gun, so you had to get 4 kills with a kill streak to count as 1 kill with your gun, that's a lot more reasonable in my eyes, because in that case, you generally can't just sit at the back of the map and wait for your streak to get like 8 kills for you, for instance, because most streaks aren't going to get 8 kills for you. So therefore, in that case, it would no longer be the optimal way to play to just sit at the back of the map and let your streaks do the work for you. you're generally going to have to get out there and still get kills with your gun, and those streak kills are just going to be a little cherry on top as you're getting your gun kills. So for me, when it comes to stacking streaks, I think that would be a fair balance and compromise would be a 25% score for each streak kill. Or I'm also totally fine with no streak stacking whatsoever. If you want to earn your streaks, that should be a balance of risk versus reward, and you should have to put yourself out there in order to make that happen. And there we go. That is going to wrap it up for all of my thoughts on streak looping and streak stacking in Call of Duty. And this, of course, is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. When it comes to streak looping and stacking for Black Ops 6, what would you ideally want to see? Do you want to see both of those, streak looping as well as streak stacking? Do you want to see neither of those, or maybe one but not the other? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.